All right. Welcome one, welcome all.
Woo!
It's the Midnight Safety Meeting.
Ooh.
Here we are, unceremoniously jumping into a fucking episode. How are you guys doing in VR land? I'm your host, Tom, and with me today is a cornucopia of delightful humans, starting with old Jonny Sniper. Is that what we going with?
Yeah.
Old Jonny Sniper over here. A fine employee of the industry. Works for you work for Good Kim right now?
Yes. I'm employed with Good Chem.
Good Kim, good people, good dispensary. Over there we got Stifler, reaching for something looking suspicious as fuck.
I'm not hiding anything.
She's beating the cat.
Yes, I beat animals.
She does not. Let's make that clear. Hashtag
No, I don't.
Stifler
No, I
doesn't.
don't. Oh my gosh.
I was going to say beat the pussy, which would have been even more.
Oh
so.
my gosh. Oh.
Oh man, and of course over there, foul-mouthed super producer Lee. How you doing?
Who
Stumbling
are
along as
you?
always. Vulgar as fuck.
Ooh, we're smoking some fine welcome smoke today. Here you go, Lee.
Where did this work from?
Amnesia Haze.
Amnesia Haze.
Yes,
Is this from the
Wow.
good land of the good chemistry?
it is. It is one of my favorite strains there.
Tell us a bit about it, man. Cause like
Let's see.
we like to run shit through the stats. Cause
Oh, yeah.
we like your the Good Kim's method of measuring that stuff. I think it's a nice simple way to describe your shit.
Well, it really is, and it's a simple. It's what people look for when they're like buying weed. You know,
Yeah, like
so it
what-
puts it in a simple aspect right there, and you know, once you try the weed, you're gonna totally agree with all of it. You're gonna have to. Sorry, I'm getting a little lost on the meaning of it, cause what it's sense, taste, aroma,
And texture?
touch.
Touch.
I guess.
Touch? Is it
Yeah.
touch?
I'm
Texture,
trying not
touch,
to
we get
cheat
it.
on this. Like, so, but yeah, no, it's it works, dude.
Oh.
It's probably I was a temp before I worked with them, trimming with a few companies, but working with them for about 3 years now, the most consistent, the most high quality weed for a simple price, you know.
Oh yeah, and they've gotten even better with their prices. Not just with weed too, but with extracts too. They're stepping up. They got that $100 gram, or like what's this? It's like comparable to Pure's thing.
Really?
Yeah, the other day. I mean, I just went in there. Was it a special deal?
I'm trying to think, because I know,
It was like 117.
yeah, like isn't it 8 grams for $100? I don't want to say because I don't want to give false information.
It's a number. It's a good deal regardless.
It's
and
one of those 8 gram special deals that I love because it's in that low 3.
yeah, except it's not
Yeah.
pure, so you
I
know
mean,
it's gonna be
Back in the
good.
day, when I was living with Lee, we were getting 5 grams for $100. I think closer to like 115 out the door.
Where
Yeah.
at?
I think that was altitude, and back in
Yeah.
the day, that was probably one of the better deals, you know. And I think that was right when they started changing to the 8 gram limit for everyone. So
That's a good time.
Yeah, we used to go there, and then we also used to go to Sweet Leaf, which we just discussed in our last episode.
Oh yes, the notorious Sweet Leaf.
oh man,
You
the
know,
first company to fuck up, you know.
yeah, in a way they were necessary. You know, like
I mean, it's that
History.
you kind
They
of
had to
need it to
happen.
make any industry work. You know, I'm pretty sure you can look into any businesses, and there's always that one fuck up that sets the standard for every.
yeah, kind of like now everyone who does this
So, like
knows.
DeLorean for cars, or Tucker for cars,
Yeah.
and stuff. We got Sweet
Yeah.
Leaf for cannabis.
Or the PT Cruiser.
The PT
Oh,
Cruisers,
no.
Just list of shitty cars. The fucking Geo Metro. Fuck the Geo Metro.
Trump Airlines.
Failed businesses. Yeah.
Trump had an airline.
Yeah, back in the 80s for
Yeah,
like
what?
2 years.
Yeah, I know him for what, property management or whatever he does, real estate.
Slumlord, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Slumlord, yeah.
Yeah, right.
He's
now.
the
Hotels.
Vince McMahon of countries.
His father
Like-
built all the brownstones
Let
just
me
here in
ask,
Manhattan.
because you're probably
basically.
more around my age. Growing up, though, you hear about Donald Trump, and you're like, oh man, that guy's rich, that guy's famous, he has it all. And then now you see him as president, and you see him in a totally different light, just because.
Oh, it's trippy. Yeah, he was to me. He was always the funny guy who was like, oh yeah, he's like the Simon Cowell.
Yeah.
Because he was like reality TV, but he was a dick.
Yeah,
I was just like,
yeah.
you're fucking fun.
But it was okay because he wasn't president.
Yeah,
it
exactly.
wasn't-
Now that
yeah,
he's
sorry,
running
for president, he wasn't representing a goddamn
Right.
nation or
But let me
anything.
ask you, everyone in this room probably has something that will fuck them up on a presidential campaign.
Oh, I could
Yeah.
never be president. Ever.
I wouldn't want
This,
to.
this podcast alone has ensured that I will never be president of the
Yeah.
United
Exactly.
States.
Me
This
being
was
on
Dang
it
it.
has
I
settled
wanted to be
that.
president.
I'm nowhere near 35, but I'm
did-
not even gonna ever try to run.
I did in hell. I was on shrooms yesterday watching Detective Pikachu. Oh my god, so good. But like I like to make a spectacle, not a spectacle, like a little event for
Thomas
myself.
Peterson. He was seen spotted in a child's movie theater, high on intoxicants, hallucinating his balls off. Do you want him running your congressman? Do you want him to be your councilman?
You know,
Do you want him to be your senator?
I do. Here in
Yeah.
Denver, maybe so, because we just fucking decriminalized psilocybin fucking mushrooms.
Yes, we did.
And I helped vote for that. God damn, you
They
crackly
actually
son
got
of a
more votes
bitch.
than the mayor trying to be reelected.
I
They've
saw
actually got to
it.
rerun that.
I might have a funny meme about that, so I'll have to.
Memes, we love memes.
I'll-
Memes are
I'll look
fire.
for it
I'm
once
always
I-
down
Just
for
no
a meme.
no Momo memes.
No
Some-
Momo memes.
Someone's scared about
Someone's
Momo memes.
sensitive about
I
Momo.
hate Momo.
So I remember that back in the
Momo.
day, and I'm not too sure why it resurfaced.
Yeah, I thought it was
Momo.
old.
Yeah.
Shit.
I thought-
I'm not too sure even what it was. Like
I'm high.
the thing would make you want to commit suicide or something.
Yeah.
But-
It was like telling your kids to do bad things.
Oh, okay.
She
I
was
mean,
like-
but
Weird.
that's what the internet's known for.
Yeah.
If
Oh
you're,
yeah, the internet is just the worst of us.
But we need.
Yeah, if you have kids and they're
Are you
using
bogarting
anything.
that thing, bro?
Oh, this?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, what's this?
We
See-
need an alarm.
Wait,
system.
it takes a Bogart to know a Bogart, so.
Yeah, but if I'm noticing, man, you gotta
Well, I'll tell
admit
you-
that's probably crazy.
We had this joke from where I grew up. If you're sitting there holding the bong, the blunt, whatever, it would be like, okay, is that your microphone? But now I have a
Pass the
microphone
mic.
to talk in.
So that one is your mic.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
I'm smoking, so.
It's very accurate.
This is new. This
Yeah,
is new.
pass the other mic.
Just don't drop it.
Oh, yeah.
That would be bad. Party
Oh,
foul.
dude, listeners, we thought old Stifler came up with a great name for the attendees of the meeting.
Yes.
Because calling you all attendees,
Makes me hungry for chicken tenders.
it has a different connotation on Reddit.
Oh, yeah.
Mom! Attendees! I want them! You really have to lean away from the mic if
So-
you're gonna yell like that.
So we decided.
Oh yeah. So everyone on the show, we're the safety gang.
We are the safety gang.
Yeah. So if you see that pop up in any literature on the website, that's what's up.
I had the idea in a very
You know-
high moment.
Speaking of high moments, I want to talk about this weed we're smoking because we didn't really get into it.
We got a brief summary to
Shit, I like
We're
to-
just
Amnesia
enjoying
haze.
it.
Amnesia Haze. All right, so this is Amnesia Haze. Let's do our label talk because we go on about labels here because like if you're coming into it blind, sometimes it can be a little misleading, especially on extracts that'll give you total cannabinoids but not be very specific about what you're getting.
Yeah.
So
I mean, when you look at labels from any dispensary you go to, I kind of, when they're showing me the display of concentrates, I usually go for something that sounds good, like the name, but
Yeah.
then the label looks really good too. And by far, I feel like they go beyond,
oh yeah,
they make decent labels, they're classy.
they're clean. They're not plain and white, which I love
When you get-
Apothecary guys. I love them. This is a boring label, guys. I love you.
And it's a fucking eye chart for someone old.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude, like old people.
I'm still having to squint my
A lot
eyes.
of your med patients with the glaucoma or Lou's blind ass cannot read.
They gotta bring out their
And,
magnifying.
it sucks
Life.
too that they have to put because I know concentrates are different. You have to put certain things on them
Yeah.
and stuff, and it's all the disclaimer, all the warnings and stuff. But
I
Oh,
think that's
You know,
why
yeah.
some of
with
them
the
have the
med-
little booklet. On the
yeah,
back.
when you're in this industry, the only thing I can imagine is the best way to save money because in the long run the prices are going to keep going down. To where the market isn't going to crash, but it's just going to be too hard for dispensaries to compete with each other. So then it's going to become about looks. you
Yeah,
know?
and
Oh,
extra
yeah.
person. And you know what?
Reputation.
Actually, to that point, this is not the official opening of the fridge
It's a sneak.
because right now it's just full of empty things. When the Dab God blesses us with a holy review, then we.
It's a midnight snack.
Yeah, you'll see about that. You don't know yet, but you will. This is Laser Cat.
Oh, okay.
Look at this. This is a tin. This is like, you guys remember from the Laser Cat episode. It's a tin, has like fucking boutique
So
tissue in there.
I'll tell you, I've seen there's companies like messing around with their concentrates because, you know, when you buy a gram of live resin or something, and you get it, you know, just in one of these little glass jars, and then in a dram, you know, that's awesome. But to go above and beyond for something that you're spending a little bit of extra money on, you know, it's worth it. you
Yeah,
know?
especially a company
Because
like
even if
Laser
you're,
Cat.
yeah, I'm saying, and what's the price for a gram of that? Because
$99. That's a little pricey for
but
my
it's like
taste.
live resin.
It is what they call premium rosin lava. So it's like a distillate that remains terpy. You know,
Oh.
distillates are high concentrated.
See, like,
but- so it's
I know a lot.
insanely good.
Shatter and wax was like what I was introduced to and what I have known. Live resin, the diamonds, what you just said, the distillates and everything. I still need to learn a lot about those.
Oh, good.
Yeah, you know,
But
we have
You've
our
come
first
to
two
the right
episodes.
place.
In my opinion,
Our second and third episode, our concentrates 101.
right? As someone that tries to spend the least amount of money on his weed, you know, I usually just get shatter or wax.
Yeah.
My girlfriend loves live resin, so I try.
You get like a gram of that a week, and then like 3
Yeah,
grams of the
you
other
know,
stuff to keep you
She
thread.
she
you know,
somehow
keep you
can make a
fed.
gram of live resin last like a week or two. For me, it's gone in like a day or two.
It's so delicious.
it's hard for me to
know.
stay away from it. And when I have shatter or wax, it's like
We smoked this
You know.
so fast. I can't tell you.
Wait,
how
is it all
fast we smoked
gone?
this. Yeah, this thing was it's called Pure Pressure. It's like a cross between so many. It's a cross between crosses. Because if you look at the lineage they put on here, you're looking at like Ultimate Kim 9, which is probably Kim Dog and like some other thing, mixed with Private Cookies, which is some other like
That sounds
LA
fun.
Confidential and Girl Scout cookies.
okay.
So they're your parents there. Then you take it down to Ultimate OG, which is like, I don't even know the parents of Ultimate OG. Probably OG Kush and something else.
Well, you know about Leafly and stuff, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
I actually repping my
Okay.
Leafly pen
I think
here.
I saw that earlier.
My OG Kush.
I love those little trading cards they used to do.
Oh, we got a
yeah.
bunch of those in the garage, dude. You take some
yeah.
home. There you go. But
We're
yeah, and
there.
then glue, which of course is Gorilla Glue number
Yeah.
4, which is what we got growing in the grow tent. Motherfuckers, I found a way to get back to it. Yes. We got the gorillas, 2D, Noodle, Murdoch, and Russell hanging out in the grow tent, and let me tell you, they're doing fine.
You didn't name one Harambe?
No,
No.
Harambe is going to be the strain rebrand. We're going to rebrand Gorilla Glue and call it Harambe's Delight.
I think that's like a dead meme now, though.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude.
So,
But we,
And I'm a
if
meme
Momo can
necromancer, man.
resurface,
We are meme
then
necromancers.
That's true.
Harambe could probably resurface.
I mean, you don't want people to forget about.
Yeah,
Harambe.
never forget.
First off-
never forget.
Dicks out. Dicks out for Harambe. And yeah, we're meme necromancers. We just raise that shit from the dead. Just
See, I would share some memes, but my memes tend to get too offensive, and I don't know how far you push the limits of your show.
I mean, like, it's either all funny or none of it's funny.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I see it.
Yeah.
I mean, okay.
I mean, like, nothing crazy. But
I
like,
mean,
yeah.
So I'm pretty big into like the YouTube drama, and recently there was some controversy between like H3 podcast or something. But I don't know. He made a video about how people, you know, on Instagram are fake or whatever. But the best part about it was when the people he was making fun of called him out and saying, "How dare you do this? Like, what gives you the right?" He just said comedy. You know?
Yeah.
So
Comedic license.
let me check the rule book to see where hurting someone's feelings.
There are
isn't
no
comedy.
rules.
So in this PC
That's
culture,
fair,
I
yeah.
respect that. You
Yeah,
know? So,
yeah.
not saying, you know, I'm a terrible person or anything. So,
No,
but
you're not.
I
Our
just,
background
I'm
checks will
saying
yield
there's
everything
rights
we do now.
when you're doing comedy. If it's known that it's comedy, if it's implied, you know.
That should
You
be kind of the blanket statement that like for the next 30 minutes, what you hear, like Anthony Jeselnik. We were just watching his comedy special
His
today.
new Netflix thing.
Yeah,
I haven't
Yeah.
watched it yet. I've seen a little bit.
We
but
watched a lot of it today. He's an asshole on stage. He's really funny. Every time there's a disaster, go to his Twitter because
Oh.
he's making jokes seconds after the news is breaking.
Too
So I
soon?
refuse
Too
to use
soon?
Twitter. Like, I feel like
no, just Google it. Like Google.
Oh, like,
I
okay.
don't have Twitter either, so I just
Yeah.
Google his tweets.
I'm kind of wanting to just like not use any social media, but it's the only way to get memes, kind of. And I don't like searching Reddit because there's
I
a lot
lurk.
of old memes.
I
on
lurk
there,
a
you know?
lot. Yeah,
And
a lot of
there's
lurking.
too much to look on that Reddit, you know? And then you get lost, and then you're in some Reddit dark world.
Reddit hole. Yeah, but with so yeah, he's an example of like when you're watching his show, you come in when he's on stage from the start to when he's off stage. Everything said in that time frame is said under the context of comedy, under the context of I'm here to say this absurd thing to make you
You
laugh.
spent like what $40 to $60 on a ticket.
Yeah.
If you get butthurt and decide
If
to
you get
leave,
offended, you're an idiot. That's
Yeah.
like buying a car and getting
You're-
mad because the car started. Like
Yeah.
you're a fucking
It's what they
lunatic.
do.
Yeah.
It's what they do.
I mean, you're not just that person that's gonna be like, oh, Anthony Jeselnik, who's this? Let me just randomly buy a ticket to someone I've never heard before.
Yeah, you go there
You know,
knowing, hey, this
and-
thing is, I'm offensive, I'm an asshole. But you know what? Off stage, I'm sure he's a normal, probably over-pestered,
I mean,
but
all of his
chill
jokes
dude.
about those awful jokes he has about his girlfriends and his ex-girlfriends and
Oh my
stuff.
god, they're so good.
He would be in jail. He wouldn't be out touring.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be on Netflix.
He makes so
you
many
know.
pedophile jokes. Like
When I was growing up, the big thing was the Eminem controversies and like all the stuff he was saying in his songs and whatever. And it's like, you know, there's art and then there's like messed up art. I guess I don't know how to say that, but you know,
Twisted art.
you gotta understand that the dude was making songs like the same shit he'd probably writing in his diary.
yeah, like obviously
you know?
he's not fucking his mom.
Yeah,
You know?
he's not out there like
He doesn't
beating
have-
up women. You
He
know,
doesn't have Dr. Dre locked in his basement. I promise. Okay, like he never had him there,
I
guys.
don't know.
Fuck Dr. Dre. He's locked up in my basement.
I don't know. I'm just saying, it's like you see the repeat in history too a lot.
Mhm.
So, but I don't know. I don't see a problem with it. You know, if you make a podcast and at least you make that mention of, hey, mature language or mature.
Oh yeah, we're gonna
You
get an
know.
expletive when we finally make the jump to Apple. We're just
Yeah.
kind of chilling in YouTube right now. We're just seeing how that treats us for a bit.
But you know, there's a draw to that with like kids. You know.
Not just
like-
kids. Most of what I enjoy watching is on YouTube. Like I'm
Well,
going to Comic-Con. By the way, we're going to Comic-Con.
Woo!
They didn't invite us, but we're showing
We're
up
crashing.
anyways. We're gonna
Crash.
get super baked and go look at people, and you're gonna join us.
Oh.
People watch it kind of.
We gotta look at those photo
Yeah.
ops.
People watching is the best.
It's gonna be a good time. Sorry, gotta shamelessly promote throughout the episode.
No, that's great, dude.
Speaking of promotion, we're gonna shed some spotlight, guys. I'm not gonna go into it deep today. I'm not, but I've got a scoop. I've got my spidey sense is tingling. Lucy Sky. Let's talk about Lucy Sky. As a dispensary, I got some shit to say.
Oh, yeah, dude. I knew a few people that worked there at one point, and then
Were they awkward?
not really. One of them's my good friend Chris, and he was trimming for them. I think he worked there for probably 4 weeks, and then they just randomly fired all of their trim staff.
Oh,
That's strange.
randomly?
But they did just they didn't give him a clear reason why. I mean, this was a while ago. I wish he was here to explain the story because this guy is a very.
You don't have to say. We'll get him on some other time.
No, for sure, he would
Yeah.
love to.
Yeah, you don't
He's,
need a second hand that one.
He would enjoy it too because he is him and his girlfriend just had a kid, so he would love to come smoke and relax and probably have a night off, you know.
Yeah, dude.
We'll have to check with his girl first.
Send him back home happy and stoned and snuggling his baby. It's gonna be beautiful. I know. I'm never more paternal than when I'm stoned off my ass holding my puppy.
Yeah.
Yo, no, Bubby, where you at? Anyway,
No,
Lucy. Let's
trust me,
talk
I'm the
Lucy
same
Scott
way,
real quick.
so-
Lucy Scott's a dispensary in Denver. I think they have Colorado Springs 1, 2, but and maybe Manitou
I know
Springs.
they just opened one near my house. So out in
was it?
Littleton,
Yeah, but
or
anyway.
Englewood.
So we know of the one, the two, the one by Wash Park and the one on Broadway.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been in both. The one at Wash Park, we talked about it a little, maybe a couple episodes ago. Nice people, decent selection, more so on the rec side than the med side, but I'm finding that's a trend. Med has better deals and more potent edibles, but rec has more selection. It's interesting. I'm gonna keep checking in on that. It may not be 100% accurate, guys, but that's the trend I'm noticing. But Lucy Scott, first time I walk in there at the wash park one, everyone, I feel like I just walked in on a murder. They just the last bit of blood got wiped up, and they put it in the trash bag, and then I walked in, and they were like, "Welcome.
Hello.
What can we help you with?" You know, it's just
You
awkward.
didn't see anything.
And like,
we
I'm
get you out of
trying,
here as fast as fucking possible.
and I couldn't seem to get across the fact that I was looking for a few different concentrates because I wanted a diversity, because I was trying to buy the next couple episodes worth of reviews, because as you know, we're not officially sponsored by anyone anymore. You know, we wanted to fly free with the freedom of being able to say whatever the fuck we want about the products we're reviewing, because we want to be truthful. So yeah, anyway, so I'm buying that stuff now, and so I wanted to be like, hey, I'm doing this review show, and I want, you know, I think I wanted a couple of Harmony Labs and an Oleo or something like that, you know, because we haven't reviewed any new Harmony stuff in a while, or it's not Harmony Labs, just call it Harmony
I think
Labs.
they.
It's just
what was
Harmony.
it?
God. Anyway. So anyway, we ended up getting that actually, but the process of getting it was very awkward, and I had to like do 2 purchases. It was all in one room. It was very strange.
Yeah.
And then we go to the Broadway one today, and the lady was nice. I don't recall her name because I don't know if we exchanged. She knew my name obviously. 'Cause
She
I gave her all my info.
eventually we knew her name.
I don't
When she
think she told me her name. If she did, I apologize.
Couldn't be bothered to look at her badge, huh?
She wasn't like, it wasn't like flipped in a way that I could clearly see her name.
Oh,
Okay, it's not a big deal.
That's-
I'm not complaining about that.
No,
I'm
that
just
is
saying.
a big deal.
Oh really? You're supposed to have it
Yeah,
flipped over?
It needs to be. I mean,
Presentable.
there's a certain way to wear it. Obviously, you know. I don't know.
I think it was just a harmless like.
It's a
accidental
harmless thing. It
yeah,
is.
Yeah,
but it is a big deal because they want to be able to see it from the cameras too. or
Yeah.
whatever.
Oh, little
Interesting.
insight
You know,
there. Okay.
Like, because if they ever
well, I
look
don't
back
mean
on
to
the tapes,
disparage
you know,
the woman or get her in trouble with the fuzz or
It's,
anything.
but it says her name on the back too. Just
Okay,
small
well then
print.
I'm just inattentive. Anyway, so it ends up
He
being like.
just doesn't know all the tricks of good customer service.
Yeah, I don't. I tip though, and that's all that really matters.
And
Tip
yeah.
your fucking butt tenders.
No,
That's a
that-
very important thing.
You
Tip
need to start a
your butt
hashtag
tenders.
or something for that because
Oh,
There
dude.
probably is
Let's-
that's
already.
that's a real thing, you know.
Tip your
Tip your
tenders.
fucking-
There's
tip your
a lot of those butt
Tip your
tenders.
tender.
Yeah. Tip your tendies.
Okay.
Oh my god, hashtag tip your tendies. Yes. God
So-
damn yes. Anyway, Lucy Sky, awkward moment. I'm sitting, so I go to the rec side. There's apparently, it's 2 buildings. I went to the rec side and pull up my med card, and they're like, oh, you're doing med? Go next door. I go next door, and we sit in that room for like 15 minutes.
It's like a doctor's office.
Yeah, and then someone finally comes out and goes, oh, have you been waiting long? I'm like, kind of, because we were about to walk out the door and just go to the rec side. I mean, like, I'm not mad at the place. You're busy, whatever. But they had a pretty limited selection, and the one thing I did want, they didn't have. But she was really nice, and I told her about the podcast, and it's just, something weird is going on. I know they recently lost their ability to process credit cards, which means something's going on with the cryptocurrency system that they use, because it's similar to the one that Diego Pelissar uses, which Diego's cool.
I mean,
You
that's
like Diego?
interesting. I want to know more about what you just said because
Yeah.
Oh, the credit card. Yeah.
That's something I learned when I
That-
was chilling at the Wash Park one. They use I think they either use the same or a system similar, because what Diego uses is it essentially you give the service they use their money when you swipe your card. It converts that into Ethereum cryptocurrency and gives that to, I guess they take a percentage and then give the rest to the company, Diego. And I think it makes it easier for them to process all the money they get, because right
Less than
now,
using like a traditional bank.
yeah, because a lot of banks are
That's
federally
interesting.
Oh yeah,
funded.
merchant
I
companies.
mean, it sounds like
are hard
you
to
know
come by.
I mean, it's easy just knowing walking in with cash. You know,
Yeah.
pull out $100 before you walk in somewhere. You know.
Yeah, that's a way to cover it. But I'm just saying, what's going on? I wonder.
That's
I wonder
crazy.
if
No,
Diego
that-
lost
Yeah.
their ability to do cards. I actually push for using cards, though. I know cash is like more thoughtful, but I push for cards because I want the legitimacy of the industry to continue. I want it, and it's only gonna happen if we are just insufferable assholes about using credit cards at dispensaries. If we are just like, wait, you don't have a card?
I
No,
think it's just
that
like
doesn't
a-
help at a bud tenders, but I'm saying like if we normalize using a card at a dispensary, if we make it, like I think it's just another step towards
It all comes
regulations
down
lining
to
up on
who they
that.
have as merchant services, really. Like,
That's why or more of
And
these actually this is also a good opportunity if you're like in sort of finance. This is a hole that needs to be filled. You can get you could be getting transactional purchase percentages just by starting a company that can somehow facilitate the money, can somehow via either through cryptocurrency or some other means. I'm not a finance guy, but if you're listening and you are, maybe look into it. You could be that's the beauty of this fucking industry. One, it's new. Two, it's like because of the weird gray area regulations because of the federal and state legislation, we have all these crazy like opportunities to be clever and to kind of take advantage of that in a good way, bolster the industry, and fucking like forge stuff. Like this is like getting in on fucking automobiles. This is like a Henry Ford moment for a lot of people. And you just got to find your way there and find out like where the holes are, because they're I mean, while it's if you're coming up here like, oh, I'm gonna do a huge grow and I'm just gonna, unless you're doing some seriously cool things with genetics, or you have a really cool way to process and refine a concentrate from your bud, that hole is not needing to be filled. There are plenty of companies doing it. They're doing it great. They're all innovating. They're all pushing each other. Good Kim is knocking it out of the park. Some of the best weed I've ever had. In fact, the first weed I've ever had legally in Colorado.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you're the Aurora location.
Oh, okay. Yeah, see, when I first moved to Colorado, I think they only had their store on Colfax because it was like 2012.
mm.
But I'd always heard about them. I just never wanted to drive to Denver. Especially, I always just heard Colfax was bad. Someone new here, you don't want to go on to Colfax if you're hearing it's a bad area. So, I don't know. But one day a buddy had bought weed from
that area
them.
is so gentrified now.
Yeah, no, it is. It's such a nice area over there now.
Can't
And it's a
imagine.
good
Get
spot
stabbed
right
in that
behind the
7-Eleven
courthouse,
restaurant.
Everyone's there. But no, my buddy introduced me to them once the Aurora store opened, and I was like, okay, where did you get this? Like, this can't be a dispensary. And he's like, no, it is. And I was like,
Yeah, dude.
well, let's go get more. And he drove me over there, so.
That's awesome.
I was literally blown away with just the presentation of everything, the chillness of everyone. And I mean,
They're a really good group of people over there. I mean, I haven't enjoyed a job more.
That's awesome.
It's like you wake up and you're like, oh man, it's fucking Monday. It's like Mondays are like almost a good day because you're going in. You haven't seen everyone all weekend. I don't know. It's a good group of people to work with.
Yeah, it's
So
kick-ass.
I know they
That's
just
what
had a
you
job
want.
fair the other day.
Oh,
So,
yeah? Just got my med card. I freelance now. Maybe I'll come
I
join
mean, you can always go to their website. I'm sure there's always, they're always looking at applications,
Yeah.
So,
I'm doing a kind of ground up thing for the show where I want to do some shifts freelancing as a like helping out with a grow where I just help everyone change
Yeah,
water
I mean,
or feed
that's-
plants for a day.
temping was probably a good way for me to jump into the industry.
And it's a good way to learn it too.
Yeah,
like literally learn it from the ground up.
You
I mean,
majority are trimming and stuff, or like there were some times we'd harvest, but you're jumping around between different dispensaries like every week or a couple times a week. And when you start getting to know those people and they'll talk about how much they enjoy it, or I made a few friends with some of those dispensaries, and then I was able to get on full-time jobs with those.
That's awesome.
And even though I didn't stick around long at most of those places, it was still, you made those connections, and then you meet people. I had a buddy that was bud tending at Good Chem after he left the temping agency, and I just said, hey dude, like, what's up, and he just gave me the right info to talk to, sent me to the website, and the next day I got a call, so they're always willing to talk to people. I know with the job fair, it sounds like, they're obviously looking for people, so
Yeah.
there's some.
So if you have your
real
med badge
promotion.
and you live in Colorado and Denver specifically, or Aurora, come on down to Good Chem.
I've recently heard too, it's easier now than it was to get a med badge.
Yeah, I'm going through that process right now. It is actually pretty easy. I filled out
Yeah.
an application online. Then you pay about $75, and then they process it, run a background check, give you the card. It's pretty simple. It's actually pretty. The hardest part is waiting for your appointment. So when you fill out the app, they tell you to pick a day for an appointment. You pick the day. They send you a Google appointment thing.
Yeah.
And then they call you a couple days before to confirm. You confirm. You show up.
So I don't know if Lee told you the story ever, but
No, I didn't. The first time?
Yeah, your first
When,
time. How you got your card?
yeah, he because he moved out here from New York,
New York,
right? And
Separate
Syracuse.
or like New Jersey, New York, or something like that. And you know, he comes out and he's like, "Why haven't you done this?" And
Yeah.
I'm just
Sounds like him.
you know, it's always nerve-wracking getting a background check on anything, you know,
Yeah,
like
it stressed me
I
out
never
for
really,
sure. I'm
like-
still stressed. It's happening right now.
you know, but so he's like, tomorrow morning we're waking up, we're going down there. You know, of course we got up a little late, and we got there right when they're about to take their lunch break, and so we're like, they come back at 1 with cash, and we come back at 1. I think we sat there for about 4 hours, and then I got seen. I talked to someone, did fingerprints or whatever, and then I had to go sit back down for another like hour or so.
While they ran the background check?
Yeah. And then they came up, took the picture for the badge, I paid them, and they're like, okay, just wait to sign something, which didn't take too long. And then we were able to leave. So
Did you ever hear
he
stories?
sat there the whole time, just
Did you
I'm
ever,
sitting there watching the whole thing, and back when it was downtown, they used to take the money in from the dispensaries in a room next door. They would literally walk in the
yeah.
same office door. So as I'm waiting for him to go to this thing, I watched these two guys walk in with fucking duffel bags and a guy with a gun on his hip. And I'm like, okay. So they walk into a room, and you can tell it's a counting room and stuff because there's fucking bill counters in there. And they're in there, and you can just hear the machines going, just. And all of a sudden, you hear one of the guys go running out. And it's like, oh shit, one's on fire. Literally. The Med was collecting so much fucking cash every day. They were igniting bill counters.
this was
What?
Like Las Vegas quality bill counters.
this was 2014,
awesome.
like
Yeah.
right when rec went
This
online.
is
Oh,
in,
yeah.
this is in the beginning. They were fucking
They
collecting so
were
much cash.
not ready for how much everyone loved pot.
It's hilarious. I'm sitting there, I'm
Fire!
like, I'm sitting there with this old demon, and I'm like, holy shit, that fucking machine
Oh,
just
I
caught
forgot
on
my
fire.
ex was there too.
And she's like, what?
So-
I'm like, yeah, the fucking counting machine's on fire. She's like, what? I'm like, they're counting so much fucking
She
money
wasn't the
here.
brightest person. So.
The machine caught on fire. And it was just like, wow.
Wow.
That's exceptional.
Yeah, so it's just like we're sitting there waiting for him to get his badge
That's impressive.
and shit. And that's like how crazy the industry was in the beginning.
I
The
heard-
state wasn't ready for that kind of volume, and there was no way for them to actually do
It was
digitally.
so
They were-
hot.
they were
Yeah.
physically bags of fucking cash.
It was
So-
just such a hot industry.
I actually heard like a rumor that like while they made you sit and wait for the background check, that if you came up with a warrant or something, you just get fucking taken in right there.
Okay, so that didn't happen while I was doing it, but I've heard stories too that was happening when people were applying for their originally when the Med came online
Yeah.
back in
Yeah,
2000.
it was felony warrants and stuff.
Yeah.
They would actually call someone in.
But it
and
would be
stuff.
something too like you may not have known, you know.
Yeah, what
Yeah,
if you don't
that's kinda
know?
scary, yeah.
Like, you know, if I moved up here from Florida and didn't realize I came up here and had a felony, and then that happened to me, you know.
Yeah, you were just
that-
trying to get work, and now
exactly.
you're in jail.
So, but you
Fuck
know,
that.
it
Well, when
makes
I
sense
first-
though too. It's kind of like maybe it was a trap in a way. It was a way to make the federal government say, "Hey, help us collect some debts." You know.
That's an interesting theory, yeah.
In the beginning, I couldn't get my badge because they weren't taking people who didn't have current tax returns and stuff. So you had to have all your tax returns up to
Or
that
like
year.
any child support.
Any child support,
or-
any school loans, and I still
yeah.
owe Syracuse like $3,000 from like 90 fucking 3, which still pops up on
I'd
shit.
like to see that interest.
And I don't fucking care.
Yeah, I've actually,
But
I got one in Fort Worth.
and then there
that's
was
like
a-
6 years old.
there was something else. Oh, it was I didn't do my taxes that year, and so I couldn't get my badge. But then 2 years later, they dropped those requirements because the Fed isn't collecting the fucking, and the IRS isn't collecting money from them.
Yeah.
So they're like, fuck this. Why are we even bothering with these extra steps and shit? Because we need people in these fucking dispensaries
Yeah.
and stuff. Like all the dispensaries were crying for fucking people and stuff. And so finally, they got rid of a lot of fucking different requirements. And now that they put it online and shit, they don't have to deal with half the people half the time because you can see the look on the women sometimes when the guys walk in and they're just like stoned off their ass, dreaded out, and just dumb as shit, and the woman's like.
Yeah, they definitely appreciate it when you come in with a
articulate and good
application
morning and print it out.
It's
You
like
know,
when the
print it out
DMV
with-
came online, they just said, "Hey, these people at the DMV deserve a promotion. Let's just hand them over to the stoners. You know? Let them deal with all their paperwork and
Yep.
such."
All right, well, we got a little product to review, so we gotta ask the holy dab god for blessings.
Oh,
There's
Look at that, we do a little singing
Yeah.
for it. There we
That's
go.
our homage. We pay homage.
What do we got today, Dab Reg? One day I'll make it talk. All right.
That would be pretty interesting.
That's my.
whatever head we cut off and put in there, they just fucking die in like 2 minutes. That's screaming for 3 seconds, but they won't stick to the lines.
All right, we're reviewing from Lucy Sky. They didn't make this, but I bought it from them. Kush Concentrates White Fire OG Live Resin. Because we only smoke the good shit.
Nice.
So, it's like a third party. It's not like one of their strains.
No, it's not one of their
Well, I
strains. It's
forgot
not
what
one of their
theirs is
products.
called.
No, yeah. I try to get everyone. You know, I like people who just make concentrates.
Well,
you know?
it's funny too because I see so many different names and brands for concentrates now, and
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
wondering how many like different companies are actually out there. You know,
Or is it
it's
just
interesting and like
Is
one
it all,
day
like,
take
white
everybody's
label and
trim
shit?
and then
Yeah.
just
yeah,
fucking-
like I
They
know
do.
Boulder has a few out there. 'Cause they
Private
had-
label, white
yeah,
label.
Like it's weird, like because I've never heard of the Laser Cat. Never
Laser,
heard of that
yeah,
fucking one.
I'm into that boutique
mean-
shit. Or like Ben's. You know, like Ben's, right?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I love bins.
Yeah,
Their
we got-
packaging. If we're talking about
we got-
packaging,
Oh
let's
my
talk
God.
about
Oh,
Bensky,
yeah,
like,
We covered them
Yes.
on another episode. It was
Yeah.
Well, we
fire.
I
got
mean-
them from Lucy Sky as well.
Yeah.
See-
That's why I'm like on a Lucy Sky like
Yeah.
conspiracy. I like something's going on.
So now that you, once you get your badge, if you ever get invited to one of those bud tender parties,
Yeah.
Bensk is usually in one of the back rooms, and they'll have like it's not medicated, but it's their honey or their chocolate in a fountain.
Oh
or
my gosh.
Just there with a big spread. It's amazing.
That is awesome. I'm so ready for
It
this.
sucks so at these cannabis parties that the bud tender parties that I don't know who really puts it on, but it sucks that they can't give out edibles, but you can walk around and take as many dabs as you want.
Hmm.
You
That's
know?
kind of how the apothecary party was. We weren't not on an industry thing, but it was like their ambrosia days. They do like that place on Broadway. I don't know. if
Yeah,
you've
they
been.
were doing like their version of 420.
Yeah, they do a
celebration.
big sell because they're really into terpene extraction. They're all about sauce and like they make some of these amazing full spectrum diamonds
Yeah,
that are like fucking flawless. They look like actual diamonds. And
because it's
they're
like
huge.
the diamonds, like the THCA
yeah,
crystals
the
and
yeah.
shit, and then they
Yeah.
put the terps back on top, right?
Yeah, like
Yeah,
2 carat
it's-
diamonds
yeah.
he had. Once.
Yeah, I had a
See-
2-carat one that was actually like that big. You buy it. You
That's
buy
like,
it as
hey,
one
I got
gem.
a good payday today, so or I got no bills to pay.
Well, that's the thing on
I'm
that
gonna
fest.
spend $80 on this. I can
Exactly.
tell you, when I first saw them from the lab, I think they actually branded them as diamonds or something.
Yeah,
originally.
we have so many different names. We were talking about that. How like, okay, so like this is considered ambrosia by Apothecary Farms, but if you bought the same
That's
concentrate,
that rosin thing you were talking about.
so no, this is like or diamonds and sauce. So like if you bought it from Double Black, they call it diamonds and sauce. If you bought it from Harmony, they call it
Oh.
nectar or something
Yeah,
like
because
that.
there's one out there called Alien Candy too.
Alien
Yeah.
candy.
I remember going to their open. They had a release party actually. So that's the thing, you know.
They're the brand, or they call their diamonds and sauce.
I'm
Alien
trying to
Candy?
think who the brand was. It's a pretty popular brand actually.
It's worth a Google. If you could
Yeah.
Google and put that in the comments, I'll take a look later. And I will mention it on the next episode. All right, let's fucking talk about the shit we're actually reviewing here. We're on Tangent City because we've been smoking a bit. All right, Kush
That's how good
Concentrate,
that weed is. So.
Yeah.
White Fire OG. This is the solvent used in this was butane, not natural butane. Keep that in mind. Not a big deal for me
You
particularly.
should
but,
explain the difference between that for me.
You know, I just don't know. I just hear, honestly, I hear just from people.
Is butane a natural gas anyways?
It is. I
Yes.
think maybe natural butane's unprocessed. to a degree.
So when you talk about that triple filtered or whatever.
Yeah,
butane,
see, so we would love to have someone who's really into making concentrates maybe explain
I
that
never
to
knew
us.
the difference, and
I just
Boston's always been kind of like interesting to me,
Yeah,
So-
that's something we want to look into for sure. And like, I just lean on the natural because it says natural. It must be better, or maybe it's all the same, and they're just specifying that
Just like-
butane is natural.
It's the organic markup.
Oh, that may be it.
That could be it. Like you can go into
This is the Whole Foods of butane.
you go into Sprouts and you can buy that butane.
It's all natural butane. It's all pig flatulence.
You
Well, I'll have you know that it says I should keep it away from kids,
The
so I guess I'll
finest
do that.
Truffle pig
can't- I mean,
flatulence.
if you
can
buy
get.
anything from a dispensary and it does not say that,
That's a no.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's an indica hybrid Wi-Fi OG live resin. Let's crack it open.
Ooh, look at
See the
that.
packaging, kind of plain and white, but it's got that fun little orange thing going
It's
on.
popping color.
Yeah, the thinker. There you go. Take a look, guys.
It's like
Okay.
it looks like he's out taking a hike and took
Oh
a
my
fat dab
gosh.
and is
You
just
wanna-
looking at the horizon.
You want to hit this first?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah,
Let's
I'll
see.
prep up a nice
Move
dab.
this mic
What's
around.
it? What does it look like?
Hold on, I'm cleaning his tool
Oh
first.
yeah. Always clean your tools.
Well, if you're trying a new dab and you want to know how it tastes, like
If it's
really,
like a fresh
Yeah.
dab. Sometimes my tool gets like so caked up, I just hit it with my nectar collector. So recently, my girlfriend bought a
All right.
e-nail.
Yeah.
So-
oh, I want an email. So
Right up until when did she buy that? Probably back in February. I found out in March I had a hernia, and someone at work said it was probably because you were dabbing too much.
Oh, like
And
coughing?
it makes, yeah. So and
I'm
it
just
made
getting
sense.
abs
You know,
for
I'd
it.
sit there, I'm playing.
Dab abs.
Yeah. No,
Dab.
that's what it feels
Dabs.
like. And then,
Playing Fortnite all night and
why
doing
they-
dabs
yeah,
and
dude,
coughing through it
just
all.
having the rig right
That's,
next
that's
to
why
me.
they call it that.
Gaming all night, she's hearing me scream and shout for the video games and also coughing my head off.
and you're just like you're just like. All right, let's get into this. See what this bitch looks like. Okay, so I was actually told by the missus at Lucy Sky that this particular brand has it's rough opening these, and it is kind of tough. It feels like it gets stuck. She said you almost have to pinch it and then turn it. So
Did you know that is
Kush concentrates.
I
Get
hate
on
those
it.
childproof
that's
caps.
actually how it's supposed to work.
Mm.
You're
Yeah, I'm
supposed to
saying
kind
switch
of-
to a different one, guys.
I'll tell you. I mean, I don't know. When you take so many dabs, you're stoned. You'll forget about it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's
You
Well,
know,
sometimes
whatever
you do it
whatever
too
you can
hard
do to
'cause
keep
it's
a kid away
and
from
stuff.
it. You know.
If I had to guess a terpene on this, man, I'm gonna guess pinol. This is like some sort of like limeine and pinol shit going on. It's so good. We're trying to like talk about terps as much as possible so that we can get used to remembering them and start remembering our terps.
Yes.
You know,
it's gonna be a
so-
good episode.
I had a buddy that worked at Sweet Leaf, and that was one of their homework assignments as a new employee, was to memorize and get used to the terps. So when you got something and someone asked, you
What
would
does this
be
do?
knowledgeable.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. I told him, like, that sounds annoying, but that is your job,
That's
But
not
it-
annoying at all, honestly. I'm like thrilled.
and like I don't know much about how dispensaries like make their bud tenders research it or whatever, because I've definitely gone into places where you have that stoner there that's like, well, this is like 99% or whatever, and it's just like, all right, cool, but does it taste good?
They don't even
Because
talk
Tell
about
me, yeah.
they,
Everyone from Colorado is so nonchalant about pot. Like all my roommates are like, I don't know, it gets you high. And it's like, God, you're spoiled.
I
There's
mean,
you're
more.
spoiled.
if it gets you high, that's cool,
Yeah, of course
That's
it's gonna
me.
get me high. It's goddamn pot.
Yeah.
You know?
No, for real.
It's part of the goal.
Excuse me for wanting something more. You'll sit there and talk for 15 minutes about a goddamn IPA, but the second I want to get high-minded about some concentrates, you're like, dude, it just gets you high. All right, let's get you high. How about that?
All right, that works.
Yeah, I'm excited, man.
Mhm.
You want a low temp or a high temp?
I just take it,
All right,
you know.
extra medium.
It just gets him high.
Yeah, I mean, I might
No.
cough a bunch. I was spoiled to have that email,
Mm.
Emails
It's
are
at a
great.
constant temperature. You just, I don't know.
We'll have to
Yeah, I
get-
recommend you
yeah.
guys like grabbing one. It
That'd be great.
wasn't that expensive actually.
That's what we're looking for sponsorship on.
Oh yeah, someone sponsor an email, huh? Oh no, we lost the logo. And it's back! Midnight safety meeting. Oh guys,
Leave
thanks
the
for...
screensaver.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Thanks for hanging out at the midnight safety meeting, guys. What are we thinking of that? I can't wait to try it.
It definitely has like a.
Yep.
It has
Yeah.
a cough to it.
Tell us more.
I don't know if that's like a tangy taste or like a sour taste.
Does it have
You
like
know,
citrus?
Kinda.
Yeah.
But I don't know. You got me thinking too much about butane.
Oh, shit. It tastes like
Like
butane.
natural butane, you know?
You weren't supposed to lick the torch.
Okay, let's see this. Yeah, and
So, yeah, I'm more of a propane torch guy, so.
I think our next episode is going to be our Mother's Day episode, so... Look
Hello,
out.
mothers. It's your day.
Whew. Listen to that chill cow. We're putting that in the episodes, right?
Yeah.
The chill cow. Yeah,
So relaxing. Yeah.
When you give me the audio files, you do.
yeah, that's fair.
Just get too stoned and you forget.
Well,
Oh,
this takes the
all the
ambient audio
time.
mic, but then
Yeah, I
sometimes
don't
we
have
feature
it.
record
I don't
audio.
have it pumping in the room, so I'll just have to give it to you this way. No big deal.
Mhm.
Oh,
Here we
I
go.
see what we're talking about now.
Editing crap.
Yeah.
Audio.
It's funny because right around the time we were doing that motocross show, Lee, when I first met you, I was taking an editing course in college.
Oh yeah.
And the things you taught me were by far the most, I don't know, heinous ways of doing things. So,
Heinous.
I got in trouble at college. The next
Heinous.
semester, my ways were impractical. And I still was a C student, so, you know, fuck that college.
Well, we were doing a 4-camera shoot at a motocross track, and so it was just a whole.
I
really
mean, the
good
truck
time.
itself
And the truck
was
itself
just
was
bare
just-
bones.
Yeah,
So.
it was a fucking
You know.
Korean-made LED truck.
And it's
stuff.
like
It
the
ran-
college had a $50,000 studio,
Yeah.
you know, which was probably about the same amount of money that went into that truck.
And basically, the truck was using my video switcher, which I got from B&H for like $1,000.
Oh, that's right. I
It was like
forgot
a
about
data
that.
video, blue video switcher and stuff. And it
Yeah.
was just a 4-camera switch, and I was just teaching these guys to just punch between the bikes, and we had no direction from anybody, and so we had no fucking clue who was in the lead half the time. So
And you had that one girl
Kenny was
that
just
didn't
sitting in
know
the
how to
truck.
point a camera either.
yeah,
so.
nobody knew how to point a camera.
It's like, oh, there's a cute boy in the audience. Let me just stare at him.
And so it was a cluster. But Red Bull was there and loved the ideas and everything, and then the guy never pulled the trigger to call Red Bull again.
Moved right back to Korea.
Tale
Yeah,
as
and we're
old
back-
as time.
And yeah, and now Jabez is back in Korea running his father's fucking church.
Wow. So
Hallelujah.
how was that dab?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fucking great dab. That was really clean hit. I'll give them that. I'm not into the packaging at all, really, but it's a good product.
It has that nectar look, like the bee
Yeah.
hive kind of thing to it, and
That honeycomb?
yeah, and
Yeah.
I feel like that whenever I see that, I think of nectar bee, and I
Oh,
think that's
yeah.
the Green Solutions concentrates.
We don't talk about
we
that.
don't talk about no.
No.
I've always been alluding to them because like I'm trying not to have open
They
beef with
are.
the dispensary.
I personally feel they're an example of
Let me
what
take a hit.
not to. You know, they were rich owners that threw a bunch of money into it to make all these stores and stuff. But you're gonna soon find out that the upkeep of how many stores is that? 14 now.
20.
Oh, 20.
Dang.
yeah, they have a
Well,
huge footprint.
Yeah, the upkeep of all these stores, especially the ones they have in the mountains, just isn't practical. Because, I've heard, was it Native Roots that
Oh yeah, they were losing.
they
licenses.
had a store up in the mountains, and their store right there outside of the airport was making more money than the one in the mountains. And if you visit the one in the mountains, you're paying double the cost you're paying in Denver.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you're living in the mountains, you have that kind of amount of money to do that, but yeah, I don't see it as a practical business idea.
Well, they were trying to
So-
just McDonald's themselves to make themselves as big as possible for the best buyout. from
Yeah.
a
Well, I mean,
international corporation.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
yeah, they're
the Fed still hasn't legalized it.
I
or
mean, they are the
decriminalized
first
it, so-
people to go to Canada too.
Yeah.
yeah, their
So-
green solution is like comparable to like.
I don't want to
native
give them much
roots
praise or
and-
anything because I definitely don't.
No, yeah, we're
I don't like their product a lot or anything.
same.
They do have I've had some good dabs from their concentrate lab.
I don't love Nectar Bee at all. I think their carts are garbage.
I mean, I don't buy carts at all, dude. The last time
I found some good ones, but yeah,
I bought these pyramid pens, and you know, they're little disposable 150 milligram ones. You take like 2 hits, it's already
that's
dead.
garbage. Yeah,
You know,
that's
and
not
it's
good.
like I get it's disposable, and the carts
I
are
think I
usually
could.
different.
I think
but
I could sell you on a disposable cart. I think I could.
I mean, honestly, dude, the idea of buying something that I'm just gonna throw away is like I'd rather buy like an actual vape pen or buy.
Well, that's the thing. You're buying like you buy the battery, or someone just gives you a battery, and
Yeah.
then the cart itself is the disposable part.
I mean, I recently got a PAX pen.
yeah,
yeah,
see, that's a good example.
know,
That's what I would pitch.
I
to you.
really enjoy it, but I hate how the cartridge is only what half a gram, like all the time. I don't think I've seen one that's a
Hey,
full
we gotta
gram
lean
yet.
into that mic, bro.
Oh. Yeah,
Oh man, well we are high. Fucking
yeah, no, that dab
Yeah, that's
is.
a nice dab.
Dude, I'll tell you, dude, these chairs, like, even like through college, I never had a comfy chair like this. I play video games in a more uncomfortable chair than this,
Oh yeah, and
you
it,
know? So,
and it promotes leaning back. It wants to lean back.
yeah, no, it, like,
You like it?
this needs to just kind of be on my chair with me.
A big shout out again to Hetty Lab. That's Emporium or Hetty Glass.
Hetty
Emporium.
Glass
Sorry
Empor-
guys.
yeah.
Hetty Glass Emporium they gave me. Well, they didn't give me it. I bought it, but you know it was a pretty good price for this cool dab pen and this satanic dab mat at Praise Satan. It's great.
Are they
He's
right off
great.
at 285?
No, they're right off of Broadway, like
I'm
right.
kind of in a corner.
They're pretty much on Broadway. You just have to like go.
They're a
Like,
Go down
block
the
south, and then they're
street.
tucking back,
Yeah.
basically, of
Tucked
good
in.
and
Town.
they even got a recording studio in there with like a
They
little vocal
do.
booth.
It was
shit.
such. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really
There's this
cool.
place off at 285 that they like actually blow glass. Like they do glass blowing
Nice.
demonstrations and have their own like in-house
Max,
blown,
is it Max Glass with the graffiti on the walls?
Yeah, is that what that's called? I
Yeah,
thought
that's
that was
right.
Heavy.
That's Max Glass. They're right across the street from a place I work. That's pretty cool.
Okay,
I think
Yeah.
Incredibles, their bakery is there too.
like right there in that
Yeah,
same
that
it's
area.
like
quadrant.
yeah.
I didn't know like dispensary warehouses came down that far.
Oh
Honestly.
yeah, man.
I mean, I know there's a bunch of.
I whenever I
there's
go
a
to work,
bunch
it smells like
everywhere,
pot
but-
all the time, and I
Yeah.
don't work in the weed industry.
Mississippi and Jason, there's a bunch of stuff.
I- yeah, when you're smelling weed all the time, dude.
It's a
you
nice
only
smell in the
can-
middle of the day.
It is, and you can definitely start recognizing the different smells of weed more. Too,
Yeah,
you
I can
know,
tell when they're
so-
baking it and when they're like just extracting, and it's
Yeah.
pretty interesting. All right. Well, this has been a fun episode. We have had a groovy time. A big thank you to Austin for bringing this Amnesia Haze,
Thank you.
which is of the relax and relieve category for purchasing. It's supposed to make you chill. I feel safe as fuck. It's been a very successful safety meeting. I gotta say there, a big thank you to Lucy Sky for facilitating me and at least selling it to me. This lovely Whitefire OG. I don't really have a rating system. Kush
You
concentrates.
need to make one, man.
Yeah, I need to work on that. But you make some good shit, and I don't know that I would buy it again right away. But if the price went down like $5, maybe.
I can
But
tell
that
you-
might not be on you.
I know some heavy dab snobs that only go to Apothecary. So
Oh, dude, it's because Apothecary's fire. I'm spoiled by Apothecary. We'll talk to you soon.
yeah.
Anyway, thanks
Uh,
for watching. Thanks for attending the meeting. Meeting adjourned. Oh, this is my gavel.
Safety